Greetings and blessings to all. This is Aaron Martinez, the creator of this content and also the witness to the orb sighting that took place in Norwalk, Iowa. Many of you guys that are watching right now obviously have a curiosity in what was observed and seen, photographed, and filmed in this Ariel phenomenon. Now, I want to quickly determine that saying UFO, I'm going to try not to use that terminology, even though it is something that is unidentified to any liking of any aircraft or flying machines that we have in our current technology. As far as my knowledge goes, and I will be researching and speaking to pilots, military pilots, about this phenomenon so we can make a great determination and can have some truth to this. So, a little bit of background on my story here. I've had 3 sightings, all 3 very, very similar. I would say almost identical of how they moved and what they look like as far as visual reference and proximity and altitude references. So the first sighting was witnessed in 1997, which I will be providing photographic imagery, but I want to cover that on a different video so this one does not last too long. So I want to really stick to what's happened in the last week. So on Wednesday, November 11th, 2020, so 11/11/20, around in between the times of 4:20 and 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, I witnessed from the parking lot of my business that is at this location, south of my location. I want to say approximately, I would say less than maybe 100 to less than 100 meters away, and probably so in between 1,000 and 500 feet of elevation. This phenomenon, this light ball, this orb appeared. And it came out of thin air. It was just, I was looking up at the field. I was going to walk to the top of the hill. This top of the hill up here is a place where we do our exercise and also is a place where a couple of us go to think. So this is not something that's unusual for me in my day. So once I seen this, I obviously was looking at it and observing it. And what it did on first initial was give me a flash signature. Something that felt very metallic, that was maybe a reflection just to catch my attention. And then it just turned into this glowing orb, which then began to pulse and move. But the movements were not like an airplane movement. It was not moving a bunch of side to side. It was kind of just hovering and making these flashes, which I assumed off first initial, and I'll cover that a little bit later in this video, that it actually was not flashing at me, but this appeared to be flashing or pulsing and moving in and out of awareness, almost like it was disappearing and reappearing. As it did this a couple times where it came in and out of awareness, it then, when it came to awareness, it flashed a couple more times and then did kind of a quick left and right bank movement, I would say, not banking, but like shifting from left to right, moving from left to right, very quick, and then disappeared out of sight. And before that happened, I was able to capture a photo of it during the movement. And what you're going to see is, looking at this thing from a proximity and an altitude point of view, is that it is not an aircraft. It is not an airplane. Most airplanes, you can still see them when they're thousands and thousands of feet in the sky. You can still make their shape, and you can still see their chemtrails. I'm just joking. You can still see their dust trails, their trails from exhaust from the engines. And you can actually see one of them in the sky here, that's located in the photo with the orb. Now, as you pull in, and not being a drone either, a drone at that kind of altitude, you're clearly going to be able to see it is mechanical. It has propellants. It does make sound. This was silent. This was nothing I've ever seen before. And as you'll see as I blow this thing up and get a closer look at it, that the orb is like this tic-tac or this ball that seems like it's a solid structure, but then it almost has a trail. So trail meaning like the lowest ISO value on your camera and setting your aperture on the sweet spot of your lens and using the shutter speed about 10 to 30 seconds usually sets us off. But without settings on the phone, you're getting the raw image, and with this thing moving at the speed it was in its rotation, it was capturing the trail movement of this thing as it moved with speed. And we're going to continue to look inside of this, and through this video I hope to be able to slow this thing down frame by frame, show some screenshots, and also add in some negative and contrasting filters to help make the shape out a little bit easier as we get into the actual video. So a reference point, remember I'm standing down here at the edge of my business looking out into the baseball fields. Let's take a look at the video.
There it is. There it is.
This is when it first comes into my awareness, and it's really shocking as it first comes in.
Take a picture of it, Liz. Take a picture of it. Oh! I can't focus in. Oh my God! Go get a Saya.
So now it's starting to grow a little bit and get bigger, but now it starts its movement, which appears, I think, is flashing.
I'm running to the top of the hill. You got a picture of it?
Now I'm adding a filter here to enhance the contrast so you can make the shape out.
There it is.
Here it comes into the awareness. As you can see, it's like a ring, and then it begins shifting and moving faster. And I realize that this thing is rotating. And each frame you can see how it's shifting and changing its direction.
There it is.
And also coming in and out of awareness.
Take a picture of it, Liz.
Once again, changing its shape.
Take a picture of it. Oh!
You know, it's kind of like a quarter when it spins and rotates, and even does a inverted roll. And now it's spinning like a quarter. Here's a closer look at it. As you can see how it's rotating, it almost looks like a ring, but it's actually spinning. I'm going to show some still frame blow-ups here so you can get a better look at what this thing looks like when it's kind of, the frame is frozen. But look at the rotation. Look how it's rotating and flipping on end. And what I thought was just a flashing light was actually this thing, this TikTok, this small ball is rotating so fast that it's making it like a flash. And here's a negative of the same image. You see it flashing and moving in and out of awareness.
You got a picture of it?
Like I said, when I blew this thing up and looked at it, here's in real time from the actual video with no filters included. You can see it still. It's rotating and making these flashes, and what appears to be bigger and creating the ball of a bigger energy is it kind of changing its direction and kind of showing different sides of it, almost like it's changing shape, but it's just moving faster and more erratically, and we get this nice guitar pick looking image. Definitely not a drone, definitely not an airplane. And this thing is about I don't know, center of the complex, the sporting complex here. It's not that far away. It is high in the air, but it's not super high. This is just above the fence line. If I'm standing flat with this thing on the same ground of it, I can't imagine it being super high in the air, just because with the naked eye, the video doesn't always give it the best quality. But with the naked eye, I could clearly see this thing, and it appeared very close in sight. Had that been a drone, I would be able to make out a lot of different parts and even hear it. and it's gone. Now I make my way to the top of the hill, trying to get up there to get a closer shot of it. But of course, like all things, you get to the top and it's gone. So notice that tower out in the background back there. It's about 3.5 miles away, and that's where it's going to appear at next.
That's the second one. That's the second one. Is that it? Nope. That was the second one. Today's the 16th, November 16th.
When it reappears, it comes
gone,
back
dude.
over by that tower off in the distance back
left.
there.
It came twice.
And
it'll
here
come
it
back.
goes.
Where? I gotta take my glasses off now. It's a bright light, and then it'll.
This is where it appeared
There
at.
it is.
The way that the phone works, it doesn't come in clear. Obviously, I'm looking at something, and we see that flash on that tower out there. That's not what I was referring to. The reference point was built into that spotlight I put on the image earlier. Amazing experience. 3 people witnessed this day. This is my 3rd sighting, the 2nd one at the same location. So if you're in Norwalk, come check out this spot here. We're at 3040 Wright Road in Norwalk, Iowa, with Pinnacle Jiu-Jitsu. I know these things are always controversial and stir people's feathers, but I'm only here to share my experience and hope to bring light and good energy to everyone. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day.